Something in me just shifted. Before that, I was such a romantic. I loved romance movies. My favorites are Bridget Jones's Diary.
Here we go.
I love Emily. And I thought that my Mark Darcy was out there somewhere. But after April, I just completely disconnected from that.
Okay. I
stopped looking at romance like, oh, I need to feel butterflies. I need to feel a spark with someone. And I started looking at it practically, like, I need somebody to help me pay bills.
ATM.
I need health insurance. I need somebody to have kids with before it's too late. And wanting a partner for romantic reasons just felt stupid. That's what teenagers want. Butterflies, to be romanced. All that stuff is dumb.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's referred to as the wall. What is it like being 34 years old, jobless, single, and always alone? To answer this question, we're going to head over to content creator. Let me bring her name up over here. Bree the Womanican, okay? I am not familiar with her as a content creator, but she got extremely candid about where she is at in life. And I think it is a appropriate opportunity to be able to dissect based off of the lessons learned. Because all too often, reality sets in and collects after they live their life in their roaring 20s, but into their 30s, panic sets in because biology is real and dating options and expectations will change even though time keeps on moving. So we're going to break this content down in the best way that we know how, understanding what was ignored, what were the real consequences to ignoring those things, and so much more. Without further ado.
If you count the past 2 years, I've been unemployed for an entire...
I didn't think we was going to see cake that early. Hold up. Is that Atlanta in the background? Let's proceed.
Year. And I've been single for 6 years. And I spend about 6 out of 7 days a week completely alone. Looking around at my life,
I'm working
like,
at ice cream.
Am I a loser? Now,
okay.
Loserdom is pretty subjective. Loserdom? Loserhood? By
Sometimes.
my own standards that I set for myself, it feels that way. I am 34 years old, single, jobless, and I feel like I have no friends. How did I end up here? What's up? Welcome to my channel, Bree the Womanican. I am Bree.
Okay.
In my entire life, I have seriously dated 2 guys. And those... No, now is not the time. I've been trying to record this video for forever, and now is the time she decides she wants to have night terrors. Those 2 relationships combined lasted a total for 2.5 years. So for 34 years of my life, I've spent 2.5 years in a relationship. It's funny because when I was 20 years old, I told my best friend at the time, who was a gay man, I assume he's still a gay man. I told him at the time, if I didn't have kids by the time I was 28, I would be a surrogate for him. 28 has come and gone by 6 years, and I still don't have any kids, surrogate or otherwise. Last year in January, I told myself, if I haven't met anybody by April, that's it. I'm giving up. I'm not looking anymore. And at that point, I had been single for 4 years. And in April, it was going to be 5 years. And 5 years is half a decade. But April came and April went, and I was still single.
Okay.
And
2.5 years of complete dating at the age of 34, at being a moderately, decently attractive young lady with cake for days seems exceptionally odd to me. So there must be other things underlying that we don't see yet. But let's continue.
And something in me just shifted. Before that, I was such a romantic. I loved romance movies. My favorites are Bridget Jones's Diary.
Here we go.
I love Emily. And I thought that my Mark Darcy was out there somewhere. But after April, I just completely disconnected from that.
Okay.
I stopped looking at romance like, oh, I need to feel butterflies. I need to feel a spark with someone. And I started looking at it practically, like, I need somebody to help me pay bills.
ATM.
I need health insurance. I need somebody to have kids with before it's too late. And wanting a partner for romantic reasons.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's referred to as the wall. She articulates it as more transactional in needing a man, but she's beginning to realize that it's not all about love and it's about resources. Woo! So for the G's out there, you must understand this. They may not tell you, but that's what's happening. So you have to look beyond the perhaps love bombing or what you think is a fantastic relationship and also understand the reality of finiteness in time and the reality of growing old alone. Because what may appear to be real may be more transactional in nature. Let's go.
It just felt stupid. That's what teenagers want. Butterflies, to be romanced. All that stuff is dumb. You could say that I sound jaded, and you'd be right. I was so confused because guys would be interested in me at first, and then they would romantically ghost me. They'd start treating me like I was just an acquaintance.
Here we go.
And sometimes I would ask them directly, like, hey, what happened? And they would never tell you. I am neurodivergent. I have ADHD. Oh. And one of the things that means is that I don't always pick up on social cues. Yeah. And I need things stated directly. Oh, so there was a guy that I liked for a year. He was in a relationship at first. So I just had a crush on him from like afar. And then suddenly he was hanging around me a lot. He was trying to come over.
Okay. Was he single?
To go places I was going. Everything just kind of seemed so sudden. Okay. And we met up at a party. All right. And because we weren't dating, I danced with another guy. And he completely stopped talking to me after that happened. And I asked him directly multiple times, what happened? And his response was, I don't know what you're talking about. Okay. Yeah, so he gaslit me, which is always...
I wouldn't quite say that that's gaslighting. He was more so protecting your feelings, coddling them because you're a girl. Relatively sweet is what we can see. Probably super sensitive. But she let us know a couple of things here. Not only is she neurodivergent, ADHD, I don't know if she's inattentive versus hyperactive, but then also she sort of idolized these romantic movies. It actually made me think back to the Akash Singh epic drama of late last year. Listening to Ghislaine talk about all of these different rom-coms and shit that she would compare her relationship to, expecting Akash to be something like that. But the difference is that she ended up getting married and held Akash to those things, and it ended up ruining Akash's life publicly in front of millions and millions of people. But women like this are busy consuming like dumbass Sex and the City type content and idolizing the relationships of the behavior within there. And then in reality, they make it to 34 and they're single and alone. To not understand by this tender age why you should not have been dancing with someone who you knew was obviously interested in and you were interested in them is beyond me. A man seeing that and being intensely interested in you, that would be an immediate turnoff.
When a woman sends mixed signals, what she's really doing is creating tension. And tension in her mind equals emotional control. It's the emotional version of push and pull. 1 minute she's giving you warmth, the next she's pulling back just enough for you to question what's happening. And that uncertainty is where she gains leverage. See, women instinctively understand that desire grows in space, not certainty. If you're wondering why she's suddenly taking longer to reply, or why was she so into me yesterday but cold today, it's not by accident. She's watching how you handle uncertainty, because your reaction reveals your position in the dynamic. Let's say she texts you all night 1 week. She's flirty, she's engaging, she's complimenting you, and then goes quiet for 3 days. You'll start wondering what went wrong. You replay the conversations, maybe send a, hey, just checking in text. Congratulations. She just learned that she can control your attention with her absence. Yep. Women know that attention is the most valuable form of validation a man can give. When she realizes that her pullback makes you chase, she understands something powerful.
Yeah, and nobody has time for this bullshit anymore. That's why you see men just clocking out early to avoid headaches later.
And I asked him directly multiple times, what happened? And his response was, I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, so he gaslit me, which is always fun. Years later, I learned that guys don't like when they're interested in you and you dance with another guy. But I didn't know, because for me, technically, we weren't dating. And I had a lot of guy friends at that time. So I thought we were just hanging out. And I incorrectly assumed that if he were interested in me, he would have just told me. Another problem that I had, I would look to characters on TV and in shows, and I would try to become more like them. But I was becoming the type of woman that I'm attracted to in stories. You know, the cool girl, the manic pixie dream girl, the fun girl, the lovable, socially awkward loser, which are not the type of women that men that I like are actually attracted to.
I'm super appreciative of how reflective that she is. She's very good at doing this.
So not only was I not being myself,
Yeah.
I wasn't even doing it to my own benefit.
Right.
Because that shit was not working.
It's
I guess
not
for
real.
like a guy, that's like if you really resonated with like, I don't know, John Cena or Dwayne
You try to
Johnson.
pretend to be
That's
them.
like if you wanted to get a girl to like you and you started acting like The Rock and saying shit like The Rock would say.
Right.
But what women want in dating is the Timothy Chalamets and the Ryan Goslings.
I don't know who these
I think
people are.
also like I just don't like people frequently enough, and I don't really have ways of meeting new partners because all of my hobbies are solo hobbies. And I work from home. My pond is very small.
I love that last reflection, by the way, because what she was unable to understand after trying to mimic these types of women is that the audience for those shows are women. Men are not watching those shows. The same way, more often than not, women are not watching the WWE. But see, men receive a lot more feedback and data because we go after the woman, okay? So we receive live and direct what's working, what's not, what's good, what's bad. Whereas for a lot of young women, they can be convinced by the media around them. And then also, more often than not, unless there's some benefit to us, we ain't gonna go out our way to tell you the truth. Shit, the truth is gonna just bar us from the yams anyway, right? So like, why do it? But with her mindset stuck in fairy tales for as long as what it has been, and then also not engaging in group activities, and maybe that has something to do with her neurodivergence, which leads to her aloneness. Let's go.
Met someone tomorrow. I'd want to date them for a year at least before getting married. And then I'd want to be married for a year at least before getting pregnant. And then I'd have to be pregnant for 9 months.
Better start freezing them.
The earliest I could have a child would be at 37 years old. That is old. And that's if I met someone tomorrow. A lot of the same issues that I have in romance, I have in friendships. I'm a high context type of person, and most people don't need as much context as I do.
Okay.
If someone says something that bothers me, I tell them, hey, this bothered me. Why did you say that?
So,
but if it's
yeah.
the other way around, they don't tell me. They just stop talking to me. It's especially difficult being neurodivergent because a lot of that is just being very direct. I don't necessarily think to say things with a person's feelings in mind. I might just be trying to convey information, and then somebody will read something into my tone and I'll be like, what tone? And I always thought that people should say what they mean. If they want me to understand something, they should say it. They shouldn't talk around it. I shouldn't have to pick up on context clues. But that's not how humans work. Honestly, I think the bigger issue in friendships for me, though, is I don't have an identity. Most people have like a set identity. You're an athlete, you're a nerd, you're into fitness, you're into music, you're a Ravenclaw. I feel like most people put all their points into one skill tree, you know? Me, I'm like, put 3 points into magic, 2 points into strength, 1 point into stealth, 2 more points into charisma.
Yeah, she's a gamer.
I'm not maxed out in anything. I like some anime. I read some manga. I like watching science videos on YouTube. I like reading smut. I'm not really into movies. The other day, my mom was complaining about how she didn't like that.
Pause. She was speaking about being direct, and some of this can be geographically or location specific. I'm from New York. We're a lot more direct. Being down in Atlanta area, they're a lot less direct. So let me be direct. Because she's so stuck in fairy tales, she thinks Prince Charming is going to come along and snipe her out of her home where she's watching her smut or her anime at. That's not how it's going to work, baby love. You got to get up outside the house. You need outdoor activities, okay? You need to go walk up on trails. You need to go join some, they got a running club and shit like that in Atlanta. You have to step outside and deal with reality because that's when men actually do the choosing. And I know that's not what your script or the fairy tales or the movies have told you, but that's the reality. Now, before she tells us about her identity, I thought it'd be interesting to review her identity to see what it is that she projects. And you'll see here a little over 2,000 followers following. Okay, pretty normal. She, her, hers. Okay, sure. Looks like she's happy-ish, and she has 3 cats at the tender age of 34 years old. Let's take a look. Yeah, the red locks. I suppose if that's what you want to do with it. Okay, she travels. Oh, nah, baby girl, not the back behind showing off the cake shot. Not that one. All right. you with the wrinkled pantalones on. You was a little bit with the tarot card. Okay, you get. We got a free spirit on our hands over here. I'm already getting a sense of the identity. Free spirit, introvert, right? She probably got like a purple crystal or two, right, somewhere up in there. Her horoscopes or her astrological signs is her religion. Let's see what else that we can learn up in this. Okay, looks like it's a dog. Couple cats, couple dogs, 34 years old, and she finds solace in being able to love something, I mean, I guess I understand that at the end of the day, I'm a dog person myself, even though I don't have any dogs. All right, red hair, presents fairly well. This is actually interesting. So she's got eclectic friends as well, right? She likes to enjoy the Halloweening, it appears. Okay, but nothing appears to be too crazy. Standard, run-of-the-mill, trying to find oneself, exploring. It's not stereotypical like Atlanta things that you see up on it. Well, some things, I guess. But, typical free spirit. No pictures hung up on the wall, which I think is actually pretty interesting. And astrological signs. Damn, I'm good. Like, they're usually one and the same. You see the tarot shit. You'll also see some palm reading shit or some astrological lines. Wine, cheese and wine type night. Okay.
Shame. 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 Shame.
So she found out that years ago that when men want to consider you seriously, you don't dance with other men, but yet still posting the traps of the thirst all across these internet streets.
In nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti.
With the purple fan on the ground is actually pretty hilarious. And not only that, but she got the PS5 controller not only in the photo, but active. That thing is on right now. Photos like this, in my opinion, represent a good time and not a long time, because not only can I come over there and play video games with you, but you're also nice and soft. And all it would take is a little bit of validation because you like to post things like this. Nevertheless, let's get back up in it.
I like watching science videos on YouTube. I like reading smut. I'm not really into movies. The other day, my mom was complaining about how she didn't like that Netflix knew that she was a black woman based on what she was getting recommended. And I was curious as to what my algorithm thought about me, and it was all over the place. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I'm not doing it on purpose. I just have very diverse interests, and I always have. But most people aren't like that. Most people start heading in a direction when it comes to their interests. Then they meet people with similar interests. They listen to the same music. They dress the same way. They have the same hobbies. That never happened with me because I always get bored. I can be really into something for 3 months and then be like, all right, what's next? I just don't really fit in anywhere. I'm like some type of pentagonal Venn diagram or something.
Yeah. And
when you're always hopping from interest to interest, you're hopping from group to group. So you're not able to really build those long-term connections with people. And then a lot of the time,
I think these two things that I'm about to say are true at the same damn time. It could be that you think that you are more unique than what you actually are, because we're all unique. And just looking at your profile, I already got you pinned to the type of personality that you have. But also, there could be components of her ADHD which only allows her to go surface deep with certain things, whether or not that's hobbies or interest or perhaps even friendships within her life, as opposed to the deep introspection that is utilized in order to learn someone else, to have them consistently attracted to you as a person within your personality, as opposed to just kind of like the surface level things. But what's interesting is that she's not surface level with herself. She has demonstrated deep introspection within herself. Nevertheless, though, let's skip ahead to her talking about some of her regrets in life.
Last year, after my April deadline came and went, I spent a lot of time grieving the life that I was never going to have. I thought I was going to have kids by now. I thought I was going to be married.
This is a lot of people who go through this.
Who I would end up with, how many kids we would have, but not whether I would end up with anyone or have kids at all. At 34, you're supposed to be building a family and solidifying plans for your future, not getting let go from an entry-level writing job that you've only been at for a year, rapidly cannibalizing my savings just to stay afloat. The really fucked up part is I just want somebody to confirm that I'm never going to have the things that I want and that I should just give up hoping for them. Like, I've been thinking, I'd love for my dog to have a companion. But I'm like, well, I don't want to get another dog. What if I meet somebody and they already have a dog? Then we'd have 3 dogs. Plus, I have 2 cats. And then if we have kids, that'll be too much. I want somebody to say, Brianna, you're never going to find a partner. You'll never have kids. This is your life. Because at least then I could do something about that. I could just move on. I could get another dog.
It's like closure.
People tell me, like,
that's what she's
you have
searching
an
for.
apartment, you have a car, be grateful. Some people don't even have that. And I'm like, by my own standards, the very least I could do is have an apartment and a car. I'm 34 years old. I should not be living with my parents. I don't have the big things in life. I struggle with loneliness and lack of friendship. I don't have kids. I don't want to be pat on the back for doing what I consider is the bare minimum. And that's not to put anybody down that is living that life, but that was the standard that I set for myself. But ultimately, that's not productive, right? It's not a productive way of thinking. I have to stop.
It's the wall
moping
talk
about it. And when I'm finally done grieving a life that I may never have, I have to strategize, to go back to the drawing board and rethink my whole future trajectory. And I need to accept that I might not have kids and that I may never get married. That just may be my life, and I have to be okay with that. When I first started working on this video, it was really a story about grief, about how I was so set on living this life that never happened, and I was lamenting that. Now that I've realized that I am fundamentally incompatible with some of the things that you need to attain the goals that I had, that there's no amount of Amazon gift cards or end of the year bonuses or unlimited PTO that's going to make up for the fact that I hate office politics. Today I was sitting in the Taco Bell parking lot eating a burrito, and I just sat there thinking, is this the life people want? Eating a burrito and not have to answer to anyone, not having to worry about picking up the kids, not having a partner messaging me like, bitch, where you at? Am I supposed to like this? I've been sitting with it, and I think the reality is, I don't know. I don't think I ever considered my life without those things. So I never really stopped to think if I could be happy without them.
Okay.
You know, I feel like a soldier who was trained for combat. I was prepared for all these struggles that came along with marriage, with having children. Now I feel like a combat soldier who has just been told that I've been relieved of duty before even starting the tour.
This is deeply fascinating to me. And the thing is that what she's able to articulate, I actually think a lot of people are going through this. And not just women either. I think that there's a lot of men that are going through this as well. Listen, technology has changed the game. The script that has been written for us of how it is that we should be living our lives is miraculously different from what is actually happening. Who could have predicted the internet? Who could have predicted social media? Who could have predicted that so much of what was normal for our pretty much every other generation before that would not be normal for our generation? So now there's a lot of folks that are hitting their upper 20s into their mid 30s, and they're coming to this realization of, I've been sold a damn lie. And because of the biological things that women go through, I think it's hitting women a lot harder. Shit, I just did that video not too long ago about how AI will categorically change relationships going into the future and how women will be more impacted because of that. But I'd like to say to this young lady and anyone else that is going through her thoughts is that it's not too late. 34 is not a death sentence, complete death sentence within today's dating market. You're still attractive, and that will prolong your time. But you have to start making more risky, intentionally risky, yet calculated decisions to increase the chances of somebody coming in there and perhaps changing your timeline, right? Being re-recruited for active duty, utilizing your analogy. Document the activities that perhaps are serving you within the short term, okay, but are not serving you within the long term, and adjust your behavior, your attitude, and perspectives. And then your odds will improve. Now, obviously, it would have been way easier if you did this 10 years previous, but you're here now. Allowing the bitter voices to get to you and not course correct before it's too late should be one of your number one priorities, because nobody wants to end up alone. And I can tell that she doesn't. She's over here thinking about her dogs having friends. While noble, it seems as though she's more willing to change the environment of her animals than she's willing to change her own environment for her to gain more friends and relationships. And you're going to have to fight the noisy voices, especially now that she's posted something like this, that identify with her situation and they're already too bitter, too old, too many kids beyond saving. And they're going to be like, yeah, come and be single and bitter and deranged like all the rest of us, right? So you can then push yourself into this kind of avenue where it's a lot more easier to live, but you still young, baby girl. You still got time. Okay. Although the biological clock is ticking and that wall is smacking up into you at 304 miles per hour, you still got some time left. All right. So you just got to use it wisely. Let's see if there's any more.
Going to see combat. And I'm like, okay, well, what do I do now? It almost makes me feel like I'm going to perpetually be living like I'm in my 20s while still actually aging. And I don't mean in the fun way. I mean, all the stability that is supposed to come with age, like making more money, having security. You know, right now my grandmother is 72.
Yeah.
She had a couple of episodes that left her practically immobile. Not too long ago, she fell and broke her leg. And the family came together. You know, all 10 of us, kids and grandkids, we rallied. We talked about all the steps we needed to take to make sure that she was healing properly and that she was properly assisted. We were working in shifts and planning everything out. And the reality is, if I never have kids, this will not be happening for me. There will be no people coming to rally around me. No children and grandchildren saying, don't worry, Mom, we'll take care of you.
This is a real thing.
I only have one close sibling, my little brother. He's 16 years younger than me. So I don't know if I'm going to have nieces and nephews to help me either, depending on when he has kids. When or if. What if I'm not financially stable because I never found a career? Then I won't have money to put myself in a home or hire a nurse. It's kind of scary, the idea of aging over.
Okay, I'm going to pause it right here. So she got let go of a writing position. What did I say in that video? All right. I currently have that video like in the homepage of my YouTube shit. I'll leave a link to it down up in here. AI is snapping up these jobs quicker than Thanos snapped his finger. And she's an anecdotal example of exactly what it was that I predicted in that video. Anyway, let's get up out of here. Guys, everybody that's on the channel right now, guys, let me know. Do you agree with my points and perspective? Do you disagree with my points and perspectives? What do you think? How many of y'all can identify with some of the things that are going on with her? I find it also interesting that there's been so much documentation about men living life of aloneness and, you know, not being happy with the way that their lives are turning out, right? The male loneliness epidemic. Meanwhile, and I said, women are going through the exact same thing. And I think that women are going through it more than what men are. And stories like this continue to prove my point. Drop them comments down below. Let me know what you guys think about all of this. I love you guys. Stay safe as well as protected out there. And I will see you fairly soon. Until next time, peace.